a couple statistics to kind of talk about the kind of projected cuts and things like that. But the bottom line information here is you're talking about a situation where an organization has a flat or a reduced revenue coming into the organization, and increased costs just for benefits over a 2-year period of time are about $67 million. Yeah. The other thing that to consider is the OPEB, or the long-term fiscal liability with costs. We pay as you go with those benefits, and if we actually had to pay the amount, it wouldn't be a 77% benefit rate, it would be 103% benefit, because we would have to then pay $2.16 million if we actually accrued this over time, which is a significant amount and something that we have to attest to. So our costs are going up. It's very simple here. You don't need to be an economist to figure out that your new money coming in is flat or declining, and your costs are going up. So at some point you got to make cuts because you don't have enough money, and we're not like the federal government. We actually have to have a balanced budget. To really highlight so far what the projections are showing is that so far as the schools are calculating and finalizing their budgets as we're working on the budget projections, we're down 396.80 teacher positions. Remember, those are FTEs, full-time equivalents. That amounts to a 7.5% reduction in the teaching force. Remember, Ms. Sershan talked about the enrollment declining about 2.2%. When you look at art, music, Phi Ed, and we'll hear a lot of testimony about art, music, and Phi Ed, I can tell you that we're running at a point that we may not have art, music, and Phi Ed teachers working in the district. For art, we're down 30% of our art teachers. That's 38.45% art teachers. Music, we're down 46.8 music teachers, which is 27.5%. Phi Ed, we're down 40.8 teachers, which is 25.9%. Foreign language, we're down 7.5, which is 10%. Librarians, we're down 12.11, which is 23%. Guidance counselors, we're down 7.8, which is 11.6%. We've lost, so far in the budget projections, 20% of our assistant principal corps, and we have had a number of schools report that they can no longer support a full-time principal. The central office folks are working on their budgets this week and next week, and I can tell you that the pain and anguish that their experiences on the particular types of cuts will also be demonstrated. One other document that I will share with the board under separate covered, that was a document of a study that was done by the Council of Great City Schools, and I guess we could put this out on the portal for public consumption. But they've looked at staffing levels, administrative staffing levels at administrators per student for school personnel, administrators per student for district office personnel. They did 11 comparable districts, similar size demographics than MPS, and we are the second highest student administrator at the school level, which means that we have far fewer administrators in the school level, according to the study, than most comparable districts. To look at administrators to students at the district office, we actually have the highest percentage of those 11 comparable districts, which means that we have the lowest number of administrators working at the district office compared to these other 11 comparable districts. So this is something that we have a concern as we're developing our district budget. One final comment that I'd like to make is that we've talked about the ERA funds, and we've talked about the funding cliff. The funding cliff will occur for the 2011-2012 budget. Remember, the state of Wisconsin took the stabilization fund that President Obama, when he had all his popularity, and brought that money, the stabilization fund, and gave it to the state. The state put that money as one-time money into the budget, and that's the budget for this year and the budget we're proposing for next year. In 2011-2012, all of that one-time money will be out of the budget. So in a year from now, you could be sitting in a worse position because if you don't control your costs that are continuing, and you're going to get less money from the state, so you need to do some really drastic things. And if you want, we can talk about that tonight or some other point of the types of things that we have to do to control those costs. Obviously, tonight we pointed out having the ability to control the benefit costs for all district employees is extremely important.